You want to scoot over a bit?
Yeah.
And it looks like we are live. And so for all the difficulties we had, we apologize. This is after our first time. So we're going to wait a little bit for people to come in.
Doors are open. And
that is true. And we got one person. Oh, there we go. All right. So first of all, my name is obviously Matt Kohler. This is Richie Watkins. Richie Watkins is co-founder, producer, and he also acts in both parts of Batman Master of Fear. So,
Please, you're too kind.
Well, the first one he just kind of stands.
Yeah.
And then the second one we decided to give him an actual acting role. Oh, wow. And hello. And if you would like to chat with everyone, there we go. All right. So, man, we actually got a good amount of people coming in. I'm actually kind of shocked, but also very happy because, first of all, I would like to say thank you to everyone who hey, there's Brad. Brad, how's it going?
Who decided what?
We decided, of course, first of all, Brad, that we were going to go live. Don't get upset with us, Brad. So, obviously, to let Richie act. Well, it was kind of one of those last minute things because
it was years in the making. We didn't find out though till much later.
It was one of those things where everyone was leaving us. Everyone was leaving around us, and I guess we got to let Richie act. But he actually did really good. But so first of all, we'd like to apologize for how.
Yes.
First of all, we'd like to apologize how long it took for us to really start showing things for Batman Master of Fear because it did. I mean, we've been working on it since March of 2018 when we released that initial trailer for Batman. And
that's as long as what we've actually been in Atlanta.
Yeah,
we're originally from the St. Louis area.
And so we have been working on it the entire time, and we wish we could have shown you guys more, been more proactive on releasing newer content, trying to once a month. We are doing that as much as possible now because Richie and I are taking this more as a job. This is now going to be our full-time job because this is what we want to do for the rest of our life. And we feel the only way to make sure that we get you the best content is if we actually make a full commitment with that, which that means, doing this and creating new content once a month. That's not going to be a short film every month because I'm going to be honest, we physically can't do that. So
we thought we did once upon a time,
but we grew up
with, since a month ago.
Yes, we grew up, but so let's start. So obviously, once again, thank you everyone. We apologize for the delays, but let's get through some announcements really quick. So obviously, we're going to do this more full time, which means not only do we have Batman Master of Fear coming out soon, which we'll release that we will tell you guys the announced date very soon, but we also have a short film. It's kind of a pet project for the stunt coordinator. He does the stunts for Nightmare, and he actually fights a little bit in Batman Master of Fear, the full-length episode. And he wanted to do a short film about Captain America taking the Infinity Stones and sending them back into time where they're supposed to be. And at first I wasn't really into the idea because I wanted to get away from fan films to some degree, because even though I like doing them, I wanted to try to give new product out for everyone. Stuff that I'm more interested in, even though I'm a huge Captain America fan. But of course, Jamal really is convincing. And so we came up with this short film where it's more so about the story of Bishop and how the X-Men universe collides into the MCU universe. So that is the short film we're working on. It's actually going to be released probably later this year, December. So that's kind of the look for that. Not only do we have that, but we also have coming out we have the Batman radio play, which we mentioned to you guys before. We also have several documentaries that we're doing on the entire show, because working on something for 4 years, but this episode 2 years is a lot of time, and there's a lot of stories to be told. So, and then lastly but not least, I'm really excited about this one. We have a short film that's coming out next year. It's more so going to be a web series, hopefully, Demons Within. So we're taking kind of the anime meets martial art feel and colliding them together, in which we do not have a release date for that, but we know it's next year. And so we're trying to get out more stuff for that for you guys. So that is everything that is coming out kind of this year, and a little bit of next year. We're not going to spoil everything. But one thing that we wanted to do today was just kind of to highlight the adventure we had with Batman Master of Fear itself. So, like I said, it took 2 years, but there was a lot more involved to that. And
I'd say overall, I mean, Batman Master of Fear has been a 4-year thing.
Yeah.
I'd say going on 5 if you count the very, very beginning of when it wasn't really a Batman.
Yeah, so 5 years ago we started. It was obviously, if you've seen the backstory videos. If not, make sure you check those out as well. But it started out as a Nightwing project, and we liked the idea of that, but it didn't really fit the story as slowly molded into Batman. And after that, so we were already starting the rewrites there, and then that is true. That is true. It did evolve a lot. And I think one of the biggest things was creating our own villain, which was Nightmare. And I think that was honestly the hardest thing about the entire project, mainly because, if we did another villain, I think we could kind of base it off of something else, but trying to convince people that there's someone else for Batman to face when there's so many villains he has. I mean, after a while, you think, okay, what else does he have? And so that was the beginning process of it being really hard. But later on, it became more about quality. So at first, we were talking about, we really wanted to focus on quantity, giving you like 5 episodes, 5 big episodes for the second part. So there was the pilot, which was an 11-minute short, which never really changed in terms of script, but then evolved the second part into like 5 episodes, which was going to have several different characters having several different arcs. It wasn't just going to be about Batman kind of battling evolution, which was Nightmare.
I think we went through 80 different drafts.
It was a lot. I mean, and that's not even exaggerate, because so the 2 other writers and myself, and Brad sometimes when he decided to help. I'm just kidding, Brad. But but it did really change over time with that. And I think the biggest thing was coming to terms that you can't always do everything you want to do right away, because we had these big set pieces we wanted to do. We had so many different ideas that we wanted to explore with this universe, because Nightmare's your baby, as well as kind of the Master of Fear universe. But then you realize you can't. You only have $5,000, and you have people who, like Brad, us, Ian Blaylock, Michael Scarry, Jamal, Raw, Ben, all these people that really came together for this project and took a lot of time out of their days, as well as just pretty much doing it for free, because most of the product, most of what you see, that is people giving their time, which I think is the most valuable, giving their time to make something really great. And so we realized, don't forget our storyboard. Yes, Shannon. Yes, definitely our storyboard artist, which all the concept art you've seen in everything is Shannon. She is absolutely amazing. And I'm very thankful for everyone that has worked on this project. And I think at first we went out for this 5-piece project, but it turned into something more. I think something better. At first I thought it was worse. I was like, oh, we're cutting things. Why are we cutting things? Why did we cut this? We cut that. We weren't ready for that.
Initially, so 2 summers ago, we were going to do all 5 parts.
Yep.
Within basically a 2-week span, because it wasn't really going to be a full-length feature, so it didn't sound as crazy to us to do that within 2 weeks. But essentially, it was going to be just 12 consecutive days.
It was going to be about the same amount of time we took to film the first episode. Was going to be focused on filming pretty much a 60 to 80-minute project.
Okay, so full length.
Yeah, so we were jumping from a 12-minute project to 80-minute project just from that. And most time you can't do that. You have to be. I think I've gotten a little bit more realistic in that idea that I can't do that. But I think our mindset changed on what do we want this about, and I think with what you're going to see very, very soon, it became about Batman's struggle in dealing with time, dealing with adaptability, dealing with change. Most of the time, Batman fears being ashamed of his parents, if his parents are disgraced by what he's doing, or just if he turns into a terrible person, if he becomes a thing he's fighting. And so it turned into, okay, well, we want these other characters involved, and Scarecrow as well. He's going to be tied into this too. And it really became about Bruce Wayne facing his fear of change, evolution, in which, don't get me wrong, you see Batman. We have 2 fight scenes, full fight scenes that we're very, very excited and very, very proud of. But we wanted to tell this story. And so it was condensed into a 24-minute episode in which, it's like a Batman the Animated Series episode or another cartoon. It's, it didn't feel like a 45-minute thing. And maybe it could be, but we wanted it to be, condensed and, a total package. We didn't want anyone to feel like they're missing something after they watched it. It's from the beginning to the end. That's it. That's what you're going to get. And of course, things changed. And one of them changed, obviously, was Richie playing one of the characters that you'll see called Lionel Fiasco, which, if you don't know anything about the character, Lionel Fiasco is actually in the Batman universe. And our writer, Ian Blaylock, he knew about this. And he was like, well, let's have this character named Lionel Fiasco come in and kind of be the guy that kind of ties everything together. And we're like, okay, cool. We don't know anything about him, of course. But Richie liked the idea. I liked Richie playing a snobby politician because I was like, well, Richie's really good at this. So, and, of course, this was Richie's first time acting with us, even though we act all the time. We make our own really sad, lame movies every once in a while that are secret.
Where our target audience is us.
Yes. So this is so it was actually really nice to see Richie play something serious, but also give some comedic relief, because I'm going to be honest, this movie is pretty serious because it's, at the end of the day, it is Batman. And it's not the 60s Batman, although I love me some Adam West, but let's be honest. That was the 60s. Can't really go back.
Now, the real question is Lionel part of the fight scenes?
Oh, Lionel is not part of the fight scenes. I'm very honest. Lionel cannot fight. But Richie,
The main thing is... yes, that is funny you bring that up, that Lionel. I guess I never really saw him as the connective tissue for the film.
Yes, rest in peace, Adam West, yes. Because, I love that show. But there'll be a couple characters in the episode that you've never seen before. Obviously, Nightmare, in which we just did a little sneak peek on Nightmare on who he is. And if you have not seen that, make sure you watch it. It's the episode or the video called How did Scarecrow cheat death? And even though it's focusing on Scarecrow, it's really about Nightmare's backstory. We wanted Nightmare to not feel like your everyday villain. He's kind of like a mix of like, I'd say Michael Myers and I guess probably Joker to some degree. You know, two characters that when you first see them, they're very mysterious. You don't know any backstory behind them, and you know, for me personally, I don't want any backstory on any on those characters, and that's what we wanted to do with Nightmare. You know, he just comes out of nowhere and starts terrorizing the city.
And that being said, I think unlike a lot of, or at least some Batman villains, there's no sense of humor with the guy.
Yeah, he is very, very straightforward. Every scene that he's in, he's supposed to be menacing because that's what we want. Now,
there's not even dry humor with him. That's really I think that really kind of tells you about the story that we wanted to tell. And that, I mean, there's definitely other parts, I think, where, you know, there's a little bit of a sense of humor just to spice things up. But overall, Nightmare does represent this very, very straightforward, very dark tale about basically Father Time.
Mm-hmm. And I think was the hardest thing, or one of the harder things with writing was, so we had one side creating our own story. Is Bruce Wayne, is he young in this film? He's about in his late 30s. We wanted to, so I'm just very excited for everyone to watch this, so then we can actually have a full conversation finally. You know, two years of, I feel like sometimes I'm George R.R. Martin, except for, and very, very soon I actually get to tell you everything and not just keep saying, oh, wait until, you know, Batman Master of Fear comes out, because then you'll be like, oh, so
2025, baby.
So, but yeah, he is older. He's about 39. I think one thing that's interesting is that Bruce Wayne and Gordon are very connected. Their relationship is, Gordon knows Bruce Wayne is Batman. And so in the tale, Bruce Wayne leaves Gotham 3 years ago after the death of Scarecrow. And now he's come back to try to fix what happened in Gotham. So that is kind of his plot. So we had to create that universe. We also had to create Nightmare's backstory for the whole Master of Fear
lore.
Yeah. And I think that's the interesting thing, because with everything with Master of Fear is that we had to start from the ground zero. This ain't your stereotypical fan film where you adapt something that's already there and then you make it your own. We tried from the beginning to make our own and then work our way up. So at first we're like, okay, well, we want a martial art-esque Batman. Cool. Now we want our own villain, Nightmare. So he's also going to be martial art-esque, which is why he wears like the devil Oni mask.
You want to show him the mask?
Oh, yeah. I actually have the mask right here. So if anyone wants to, here's a nice image. It has a little dust on it this is one of the masks that we use for filming. We actually had 3 masks for set. We had one that's called the facial, or I don't know, that's not the right word.
Close-up mask.
Close-up mask. There we go.
Yeah, you don't like do the facial cream thing.
Yeah. And then we have 2 others, which were like the stunt mask, which of course is by far the most beat up one. And as you can see, the horns are missing completely because let's just say Batman wrecked Nightmare a couple times. Maybe. Oh, thank you. Yes. Justin Pogue designed those masks, and we are very, very happy with all of them. And obviously the Batman mask, which we're really excited about that suit. But so I think right now, we talked a little bit about Batman. So the one last thing I want to bring up before obviously the announcement is, so from now on, we're going to go live every week. The reason why is because we want to keep you up to date on everything we're doing. And that means, there's going to be certain things we're doing. We're not just going to come on here and talk about what project we're doing. We're going to try to keep you guys, on your toes. we're going to make sure that we bring in other people who worked with us, talk to them, interview them, etc. And then you guys can ask questions, which, by the way, if you guys, feel free to comment, hopefully we can answer everything. But we also want to bring, just once again, give you updates as well as news that's happening with us. And also the last thing is we want to keep up to date on all of our fans and all the people that are really excited to watch our stuff, because I want to know everything. I want to make sure that you guys, are liking the product, or, obviously there's something that we can change it. But, so yeah, that will be every Friday. We'll let you know before, obviously, we go. We're not going to just go live, see what happens. So with that being said, so Batman Master of Fear, the release date for that is September 14th. So that is 3 weeks.
September 14th. That is about 3 weeks.
Yeah, so we're going to have it in 3 weeks. That's going to be a Monday, probably later, like 7 or 8 p.m. So what we're going to do is we're going to go live a couple of days before to obviously get you guys hyped, get everyone excited about watching this, because like I said, it's going to be hopefully. I'm going to say you guys are going to like it, because I'm very proud of the work. Oh, cool. How are you doing? It's been a while. Especially Brad. I haven't talked to Brad in a while either. Brad, how are you doing? If you're still there, I don't know. It doesn't show me. I sound old saying that. But anywho, so yes, September 14th is the day we are going to release Batman Master of Fear. So how the schedule is going to look out, once again, every Friday we're going to go live. One of these weeks we're actually going to do commentary on the original episode to give you some insights, some funny things that happen on set, or even mistakes that we made. Because let's be honest, there were mistakes. And we'll do the exact same thing the following week. So September 21st.
Hey, I got it.
Oh, so September 21st is, I guess, National Batman Day. It's Batman Day, which means probably that day we will be doing a live stream as well to not just hype Batman Master of Fear Part 2, but also do a commentary on that video as well, because, there's a lot of insights for that, a lot more information on that you guys, there's not enough videos to go over. And, after a while, I think the lasting thought about when Batman Master of Fear is going to be released, and, in 3 weeks, there is more of Batman to come. But, that's, I guess, for you guys to decide. If you guys really like that, really like the product, and really want it to happen, then we'll figure out a way. But I can't tell you anymore, because that might spoil. I might have already spoiled it. Who knows? But September 14th.
Well, I mean, what are some other things that we did go through? I mean, I think we can take another few minutes just to talk about maybe a little bit of behind the scenes, to give them a little taste of the scenes that you are going to see in this movie.
Well, that is true.
We could talk about the Batcave, what we had to go through to get that.
Okay.
Not everybody's seen these videos.
All right. So I'll tell you a little. Okay. So in this. Oh, hey. Man, I haven't seen a couple of you guys in a while. How's it been?
Dang. That has been a while.
So, okay, so even though you just see a black backdrop, if you guys do not know that we built a bat cave inside our apartment. So this is the exact same apartment we made a bat cave. So, for anyone that's new, that just came in, September 14th is when we're releasing Batman Master of Fear. We'll post that on the community. We'll also keep this video up so you guys can watch this if you haven't, or rewatch any of the things that we've talked about. But so just one last thing. So this apartment is where we made the Batcave. So kind of how we did that was when we first moved in here in March, we had $5,000 from this movie from actually several of you guys and others who donated to this project, which we could not have done without you guys. Yes, a Batcave in the apartment. Yes.
This is next level man cave.
And when two dudes live in a single bedroom apartment, which yes, that's how we had to do it when we came down to Atlanta. So what we did is I came up with the idea like, well, we can't afford a studio, so why don't we just use a studio to make the Batcave? So what we did was I started researching how to build the Batcave inside our apartment, and the thing I came up with was butcher paper.
That was it was Justin's idea. Like you got to use something like butcher paper, and then I think you found that it actually sticks.
Yep. And so what I did is I bought probably $200 worth of butcher paper, and
200.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I would spend hours crinkling up and taping it on the walls. We put it all over the windows, all over the walls. It was butcher paper completely. By the time we got done, in order for the actors to get in, they had to crawl like they're in some like playground looking thing, like a tube type thing that you crawl through to get to the slide. That's kind of how it was in here. But it wasn't for like a couple of days before. It was an entire month. So the entire month of September and beginning of October, we just sat in butcher paper in complete darkness.
I mean, we do what we can, and when you're low budget, you gotta find what makes it work.
And I will say, while we seem like we're geniuses, it took a lot of things, because we'll post pictures on the community chat, because at first it looks horrendous. It looks really bad. Like it looks really, really cheap.
It looks like we just kind of left the place in disarray and never came back.
But it was just layers. It was the butcher paper. It was then we moved our table. We bought a couple new computers to help that. And then when the cinematographer crew came in, Chris Gray and Jesse Shemeka, they brought in several lights to make it look futuristic, like a Batcave, like a Batcave with a computer. And so they put them on top. They hung up the lights, and then obviously we brought in a fog machine. By the way, if you ever decide to do this and you put fog in your house, make sure you take the fire alarm out. Yes. That's what we had to do. And this was completely a fire hazard. So we had all of those things. We had that. The lasting thing, because we were like, it's right there, but we're missing one thing. And my girlfriend, now soon to be wife, was like, why not you guys use cooking oil to spray to get the depth of field? So we sprayed our entire apartment with cooking oil onto butcher paper.
So definitely a lot of flammable things happening on set.
Yes, with really hot lights, and everyone was crammed to the point. You see how close we are? That's pretty much how 10 people were on set doing this. With
no clear exit, in case something were to happen.
Yes.
But we did have pizza.
We did have pizza. And the last part to tie it all together was the acting, which I think is the strongest thing. If everyone's seen the pilot, I think everyone knows the guy who played Jim Gordon or Ben Kearns is a phenomenal actor. And on top of that, you got to see these 3 bathroom breaks. They kind of happened. Not real. Like you literally had to shift the Batcave in order for a bathroom break to happen.
What was nice though is we did have the futon pushed up against the wall. I guess the wall behind the camera, behind you. And then, you could make a beeline to the bathroom. But
so the actors could sit there while the 5 crew people were trying to figure out how to move everything. And so we filmed the Batcave stuff in 2 days. And also all the actors flew down and lived in our 1-bedroom apartment. And on top of that, so the guy that played Bruce Wayne, it just keeps getting more and more ridiculous, I feel like. And it's just like, holy like you guys are probably thinking, what is this? Like, what are these scenes? They're much better than what I'm making them sound out, hopefully. And maybe if you watch this, then you're just going to go, that's their apartment. But on top of that, Chris Johnson, who plays Bruce Wayne, who did an amazing job at what I asked him. He played the Bruce Wayne I wanted, which was this haunting figure who was very, he's very broken down emotionally, not physically, and coming to terms with, what happens in the episode. But he works in theater a lot. He performs every week. 52 days a week. I was right to say 52 hours, 52 weeks out of the year. And so he tried to figure, he's like, okay, I can do Sunday and Monday. I'm like, all right, so you're going to fly up Sunday night and we're going to film Monday. So we did all 3 of his Batcave scenes in one day, which if you've ever filmed or been around film or just heard a documentary, normally you don't film that many scenes in one day, but we figured it out, which was just a lot of pre-production with our actors, and they came on set. Rick Montgomery, who plays Alfred, and Chris Johnson, who plays Bruce Wayne, did their scene together. They've never met before. They've talked to each other once, and even they were like, "Huh, that was a lot better than we thought." And everyone nodded along, like, "Holy cow, what did we just see?" And that's probably the best scene, is the scene between Bruce Wayne and Alfred Pennyworth, in which Alfred is trying to tell Bruce Wayne, not to go. And not to go face Nightmare because of what might happen. But so Batcave, apartment, don't ever try it at home unless you have a plan. Because I felt like we had the idea. You have to be somewhat insane in order to not see the sunlight for a month and a half, but also, have other people helping you, because obviously you cannot do this, type of thing by yourself. So if you have a lot of crazy friends like I do, and obviously, you're using someone else's place to make the Batcave. So, because that's pretty much what everyone else did. They used our place to make a Batcave. And then when they came in, they're like, "Oh, cool, this is a Batcave." It's like, hey, it's also our place. The bedroom's right over there. Please don't go in. It's the only place that's not a Batcave. But I will say it was very warm in here. And
not like we needed it, because it was mid-October in Atlanta, so it's still like 100 degrees outside.
And probably one of the best gags, kind of. You can honestly play a drinking game on how many times Alfred Pennyworth's glasses slide down, because it's so hot. It just keeps going, whoop, whoop, and like he's just pushing it up and down. Like, we try to edit it out as much as possible, but it's just like, please stay up. Please keep these glasses up. Even in this emotional scene, they go down and he just pushes them up, stands up, the glasses fall right away. Wasn't set small for shoot? Yes. So actually how we did this is, and I think Jesse and Chris, so we actually morphed the Batcave. So we shot it one way, the Batcave, to give this look of, here's the computer, here's the technology, here's all the, because we made the Batcave small for the purpose of, I like the idea of him kind of being Sherlock Holmes-esque, because this is older feel, an older vibe to Batman.
Now that you mentioned, I definitely can see Chris playing Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, and so like there's a bunch of like boxes and files of him just working and looking through papers. So what we did is we tried to create like depth to each shot, each angle of the Batcave we do. Not only do we change it a bit, but we also make sure that you're seeing a little different part of it. And in the episode, you only see the Batcave for about 6 to 7 minutes. I mean, that's a pretty long time for Master Fear for a 25-minute short. But when you're watching it, and there's so many things like, Bruce Wayne Batman comes back, fight scene, and then all of a sudden Batcave, and then you're right out of the Batcave into Nightmare doing stuff, into it just keeps going, and it doesn't give you enough time to think about, oh, this is the Batcave. And
really, what's going to work with all 3 scenes is, well, most of those 3 scenes is that it shows the detective side of Batman, which was really a big part of why we wanted to do this as well.
Yeah. So actually, that you bring up a good point. So not only did we there was like a checklist of things we wanted to do with Batman that we don't think had ever really been done before. One of them being the detective side. The other being Justin Pogue, the guy who designed Batman. He wanted to bring the white eyes, which I can also show you. So this is, if you've not seen it, this is the Batman helmet that I actually wore for the stunts. So these are, of course, the white eyes. He's a little messed up from fighting. We did that on purpose. But so we went for the full helmet and the full face because obviously I'm doing the stunts and we can't CG. But the main reason was because this is supposed to be like an older school Batman. Yeah, good job. Nice. So we actually took inspiration from Batman Beyond. But I like the idea of having a full face. You know, I just think it kind of looks somewhat dorky to like you're supposed to be terrorizing gangsters with guns, and all of a sudden here comes this guy that's supposed to drop down like a bat, and his jaw's just showing. And unless you find like the right actor with like you have to have a really good mix. It's like you have to have this really, you know, the face has to work, but also the acting. There's just so many things. Instead, we try to pick it apart. But so the white eyes, and the other thing was, you know, that we really tried to focus on was the martial arts, the fighting, which is why we have like two tentpole fight scenes. We have, you know, Batman taking on a group of people, which some of you might have seen parts of, and then of course Batman versus Nightmare, in which I'm obsessed with Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, all of that. Yes, his jaw is definitely his weakness.
Which for some reason is never really exploited in the movies.
Yeah, they never try to shoot him in the jaw or hit him. But now if people shoot him in the jaw or punch him.
But it does help identify what Batman movie you're watching, usually.
That is true.
Oh, that's Val Kilmer's chin.
Yeah, and also, yeah. But anywho, so we wanted to obviously make the fight scenes memorable. We worked on those, in which that's another reason. That's probably the final takeaway why it took so long. So the Nightmare Batman fight, we took an entire year to film that. It was 3 different shoots, but we choreographed 6 months to make sure that that fight was up to speed. Because, so think of this. I'm wearing this, and Jamal is wearing the other one. You can't really see that well in either of these things, even though they look cool.
Add into that a lot of fog.
Yes. And so not only...
And just darkness in general.
Not only is your visibility like this,
yeah,
but you also, you also have fog. It's dark because we lit it that way. And so we took a lot of time. So what we did was we choreographed the fight, and then we choreographed the fight with the mask on to make sure we could do all the moves in the fight scene. And then, of course, even after all of that, it still took a while and a lot of perfection. But once again,
and I'd say overall, when you do watch the film, I mean, you're not going to just be seeing just the vision of just one person, even though we did have a really good creator director with Matt leading the way. But at just all the different names that we've mentioned, you're going to see the many different visions that came together, and I think just it made a film that is definitely worth the 2 years of making it. You know, we had Justin with the mask. We had Shannon with the storyboard design that just helped us visualize everything.
We had Ian Blaylock. We had myself, Michael Scarry, Brad Drapp working on the script.
Oh boy!
Behind the scenes. Well, we see. Yes, we will. We will actually see some bloopers for that. So I probably say we will. So we'll do 2 things. One, like if you have not, oh gosh, Batman's falling over.
Batman's okay.
The mask was fine, we think, but
been through a lot.
Yeah, but So for bloopers, behind the scenes, we've shown some behind the scenes, but for bloopers, more so commentary. We're going to do a commentary with me the week after it releases, September 14th. And then we're going to do some commentaries with the actors that worked on them. Because obviously, like my experience, I was there every single day. But I think for me personally, it's going to be more interesting to hear from them as well, because they are the actors that had to go through. I remember one day, for instance, Alfred having to crawl under the Batcave in order to get in the Batcave, because here's this this older man having to crawl like a 3-year-old in order to get underneath the Batcave, just because of what we had to do. So there's things like that. I will say that if you want some behind the scenes, we did do a documentary called Inside the Batcave, or build it. We built a Batcave in our apartment, which is a 10-minute documentary just talking about, highlighting some of the stuff I said about the Batcave.
Which you can find the Inside the Batcave. I put it in the chat, but in case you missed it, it's called Inside the Batcave, and you can find that just under our video list.
Yeah, and if you guys have noticed as well, we've completely updated all of our YouTube page. I've taken the last 3 to 4 months, and why we've kind of gone dark with everything is because we wanted to make sure that everything was just better, more professional, so that you guys can see the best of us and that we can give you the best content. Because I think the thing that showed us with Batman is I'm obsessed with martial arts, and I want to show you guys new martial art movies. And that could be with new characters, that can be with old characters like Batman. But I needed to work on that. So the Behind the Batcave is on our main page, as well as highlighting the wire rigging, which we did use a couple of stunt rigs, thanks to Cyrus, who was one of the stunt coordinators for Batman Master of Fear, and Jamal, who's the one that was getting pulled. But so we have those 2 videos, and we only have one blooper video for the first episode, but we might put up more, because there's some scenes of Jim Gordon, Ben Kearns being Ben. So
now, this sort of ties in, but we did have a question. What was our biggest struggle with making the movie?
Oh, the most struggle. I think the most struggle.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think the most struggle we had was honestly the final fight, and the reason why is because this, in a lot of ways, is either the end or the beginning, how you look at it. And so we wanted to, okay, what if we only have one time to really show you guys? So in case you're unaware, Batman Master of Fear started off with, we wanted to try to make a pilot for, DC Comics. And so at first that's what it came to be. And then,
oh,
yes. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, too bad we cannot do a premiere in person. We have one tiny premiere of like 10 people at a dojo in which we filmed half of it. But to answer your question, the final fight for Batman Master of Fear between Nightmare versus Batman. And the reason why was because, like I said, everyone was in full outfits, full like helmet. Batman had the full shield, Nightmare had the full mask. And the biggest thing with that was the vision, and also just making sure that the final fight felt like the final fight. It felt like everything you've seen previously ended there. And it's why it took a year, because we actually filmed it once, and we looked at it, we're like, okay, we like this. And we filmed everything else. And a couple months later, we come to the realization, thanks to Near Shore, who is our composer, as well as Richie. And Near Shore did an amazing job on that first episode. And we actually have the soundtrack on the channel as well. But he was like, this ain't the final fight. It feels like a midpoint fight. it doesn't really finish it off. And we're like, okay. And so we decide to reshoot the entire fight. Like we just destroyed the original footage pretty much. And we filmed yet again the final fight. And it turned out so much better because we actually went back. We used the same choreography, but we put more meaning behind everything and try to make sure that it felt final. Yeah. And once again, so in case you were not here, so September 14th is the day we're releasing. We have another short film we have another short film coming out this year called Captain America, or it's a Bishop short film. But it's about him returning the Infinity Stones back to where they belong. And then we have we have our own IP coming out called Demons Within that's coming out next year. And once again, thank you all for watching. I'm actually very shocked on how many people are watching. Because
thank you all very much. I mean, this has been a pretty active live chat, especially for our first time actually live streaming.
And I know, once again, I know it's been a while. It's been a long time since we've really talked a lot, but we're going to try as much as possible to be in touch with everyone, because this is what we want to do, and we want to make the best content for you guys, and we also want you guys to let us know what content you want, because at the end of the day, it's for us, but it's also for you guys. I want to see cool fight scenes. At the end of the day, I just want a really good fight scene. But
thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you once again. Thank you guys, and we did actually officially start a Patreon account where we can send you a link if we can. I don't know why it's not working, but we officially started a Patreon account to try to have you guys have more of a say in our projects, and we'll have that. We also have a lot of interviews coming up with several different people from the industry. Like next week, we're actually having another interview, and so we're going to start putting that stuff on there. So if you're interested in supporting us and making sure that we can actually do this full time to bring you more projects at a faster pace, it would be very helpful for us and for you guys to support us on Patreon. That's the only place we're doing right now. I will give you more information on other ways that you can support us later on. But other than that, if you guys do not have any questions,
I'd say.
Oh, wait. I'm pretty sure I'm still a Patreon at my old account. I apologize. It looks like you are not, but be aware that. So once again, I apologize. I know you were a Patreon for a while, and I know we were not putting up anything. So I do apologize for that, because I know you were a supporter for a bit, but that has changed because we are now, like I said, we are now doing this full time. I quit my job to do this, and ever since March, I've been doing this to make sure that this can be an everyday business, because it is a business, but at the same time, it's a fun business, and hopefully we can all be together to make some cool stuff. And also, I'm really excited. Once again, like, you don't know how many times I've talked on these videos and wanted to tell you guys exactly how the story is, because those are my latest. Oh, but
very cool.
But you don't know how long it's been for me to want to tell you guys exactly how the story goes, but at the same time, I know that I would rather have you guys watch it instead of just me to spoil it for you. So once again, if you want to support us, we have a Patreon account. September 14th is the release date. We're going to do a commentary the following week on Batman Day. And once again, this is Richie Watkins.
Sorry,
he's been helping me talk to you guys a lot.
So it seems like Red Fist can be in two places at once.
Yes, there are two fists to the body. I was going to say to the hand, but that's obviously not true. But once again, this is Richie. He plays Lionel. So if you think he's bad at, playing Lionel Fiasco, you can blame him, not the director. I didn't know.
I mean, some of the lines were improvised, I think. Well, I mean, just for that one scene.
But yeah.
That you'll see soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was overall a blast doing this movie in all aspects of it.
Man, I miss you. It was a lot of fun that day of shoot. And we need to catch up on the phone soon.
John David Bola, we are talking to you very soon.
It's a very formal way. But once again, we will all see you next. So next Friday, we are going to live. We're actually going to be showing you several different thumbnails that we're going to be using, and we want to see what you guys think. The other big thing that we're going to be doing is I would like to next week go over commentary of the original episode, the pilot, and we can make fun of ourselves because you know what? That's fun. So for about 10 to 12 minutes, grab some popcorn and let's make fun of ourselves. And who knows, maybe we'll watch it twice just to see if we can find even more things that are wrong with it. And yeah. And then the other thing that we'll be doing is we have a little documentary coming up about Nightmare and just casting Raul Liba. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Nij. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And as you can see, people that helped out with this, they had a blast too.
Well, we think. He could be, or we paid him off.
John David Bullock, yeah, we could have paid him off. You never know. Our low budget movie.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we only spent $200 on the Batcave. Where else did you think the money went? But once again,
we didn't think it would take almost an hour, but honestly, if it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't have been doing this nearly as long. And really, I mean, if it weren't for you guys, we
wouldn't be doing this right now at all.
Yeah.
But once again, man, this is like the Midwestern goodbye where you keep saying goodbye.
And then a half hour later, you're still going on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. That's my dad, by the way.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, he didn't. Richie did not pay himself to.
He might have a little of a family bias there, but that's okay. Hey, Dad, I love you.
But anyway, once again, so September 14th is the date that we are going to release it. I'll let you know the exact time, and we will see you guys next week. See ya.
See you guys.